Thank you to all of those who are joining me. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Cinthya Lavin. I am the VP of Communications and Community Engagement at the Southeast Florida Better Business Bureau. I am also the coordinator for the Torch Award entries. Before we get started with the Torch Award entries, walkthrough, I really want to clarify that at this BBB, we are not the judges of the Torch Awards. So all we do is facilitate the nomination, the application, and just to make sure you have a good application and that you're qualified to apply. But we have a panel of independent judges that we provide the applications to, and we provide all of the judging criteria to, and it's up to them to give you the qualification. And once we have all those scores back, we are the ones to get the trophies. But we have no influence over who wins, who doesn't win. It's solely up to your entry. And we have 2 judges per category. And those judges really look at each other's notes and stuff, and they do the small, medium, and large businesses. So you will only be competing with businesses your size. So there's nothing that you can do for BBB that is going to up your chances. There's no voting. There is no external voting from clients. So really what you can do is to have a good, solid entry, and you can solicit testimonials from clients as an option, and we're going to go through that. So to go ahead and get started, I'm going to be sharing my screen, and you're going to be seeing the application. Okay, so this application was from a winning entry last year, and this is for a small business. So the introduction is really, it's 4 categories, and we look at the CEO, the culture, the personnel, and what you do in your community. So the BBB Torch Awards for Ethics, it honors organizations whose leaders demonstrate a high level of personal character. So the Torch Awards embodies BBB's mission of advancing business trust. So this is all the eligibility and criteria, which you should have already read. The application is available, and you should have received it if we accepted your nomination. In any case that you still don't know how to access it, we're going to go to the website where it lives. So it's open to for-profit and nonprofit organizations of all sizes located within our South Florida service area. So all of this we checked when we send you the application. So if you're here today, it's probably because you're already eligible to apply. If your business is under 3 years of having been started, then you don't qualify to apply to the Torch Awards, and you're going to have to wait until your business turns 3 years old. We already covered the judging process. So really, this is pretty straightforward. The organization was the Bold and Beautiful LLC. You just have to make sure you put all the information we asked for, and then the name of the owner and the email address. I want to point out to please put an email address where I can reach out to you, or who will be the point of contact. A lot of times, sometimes a person fills out the address of themselves, but then they're not really the person who's going to be answering, or you're going to be away. So make sure that whoever email you put on here is an email that's going to be answered, that I can reach out to, because we do have quite a big number of nominations. So the best way I can get to you is through email, and same phone number. If I can't get through to you via email, or Key McKay, who's also helping me coordinate with these entries, then it's if we have any questions or something's missing, then you're going to be disqualified. So it's important to make sure that the communication is correct. The total number of full employees is important, and it's important that that number pretty much matches what you gave us in your accreditation, unless it has gotten bigger, because then that's how we know which category to put you into, whether small, medium, or large. And then really, if you just go on, this is criteria. The first criteria is character, and I don't know why this is supposed to be blue and white, but in any case. So it really, it asks here, as a CEO, president, owner, executive director of your leadership, character sets the tone for your entire organization. As a leader, explain how you behave intentionally and communicate with your leadership team, employees, customers, and stakeholders in a way that is consistent with your beliefs. So you can pick here It says, when addressing this criterion, please describe how you strive to live and lead with high character and intentionally seek feedback in order to make personal improvements, how you empower your staff to carry out your organization's commitment to building and maintaining ethical business practices, and tools, activities, or training that reinforce your staff's commitment to character, ethics, as part of the organization's normal business practices. So sometimes a company chooses to just focus on one. I would recommend pick the one that you're strongest in and give examples there. So here she talks about how she's a skincare and body treatment specialist running a day spa business. And she talks a little bit about what she does as a business owner. And I think with her, she had a very, very strong written statement. So the other option is you can upload supporting documents with your statement. So if you have any trainings that you have taken, if you have any standard operating practices that you do to communicate with your staff to foster that good environment as a boss, I would advise you submit them here, even if it's a screenshot of sets of emails that you have, even if it's screenshots of things that you do for your staff or for your stakeholders, you can upload that there. So in the entry, and we're going to go to it later, you're going to be able to upload supporting documents. For me personally, from what I've seen from the judges, because I do get those entries back and I see their feedback, usually when there's supporting documents, they're really likely to score a, a entry higher because they're able to not just hear, but the person is showing. So show, don't tell, because we can sit there and say a ton of things, but if you're showing with examples, then it's better for them to be able to give you an appropriate score. The second criteria will be culture. And really, it's illustrating how your organization works towards a culture of trust through clarity of purpose, empowering employees, and opportunities for growth. So, how you unite your team around your organization's vision and mission statement, how you empower employees to help shape the expectations and culture of your organization, and what practices your company uses that demonstrate leadership's commitment to individual employees. Now, these examples that are here at the bottom, these are just examples to get you to write. One thing that I will advise you on this going, and this is my first time advising doing this because now it's more popular, you should probably use AI to help you with some of these entries. Now, not to say that you should copy and paste everything that AI tells you. What I do advise is to answer some of this and then put it through AI, whatever platform you decide to use, whether that's ChatGPT or maybe Gemini on Google, whatever that may be, and ask them to enhance the entry for you or to make it sound a little bit more cohesive. And it'll give you some examples of how you can make it sound a lot better. If writing is not your strong suit, if creating essays demonstrating these sort of things is not really the strongest, or if you're a small business, I really recommend you to do that if you don't have someone helping you out with this, because I do realize that companies that are bigger that have a marketing department or maybe a office manager do have better entries because they have someone that kind of sits there and commits their time to doing this. So the best thing I can advise you is to maybe run it through an AI platform so that it can help you with tips, tricks, and just to make it sound nicer. However, don't just copy and paste, because our judges will notice if you just straight up copy and paste from a ChatGPT answer or an AI platform answer. So here again, she gives like a great example of how she regularly enforces a vision and mission through team meetings, training sessions, and daily interactions. She emphasizes the importance of her vision, which typically revolves around providing exceptional relaxation and wellness experiences for the clients. She encourages open dialogue and collaboration. And I do know that she had some of these things for mission and vision, if you have it like around your office, if you have something framed that reinforces what the culture of the company is, that will be something to take a picture of and upload it. We had another winning entry our very first year that they did have frames all over the company, and it had just one word, and then when they were all put together, they were part of the mission of the company. So it reinforced that mission for the team members and for them to see it. If you have on your calendar the weekly meetings that you have with your team, whether it's volunteers, whether it's partners, whether it's the staff, make sure that you upload that because that just helps make your entry a little bit more robust. And then the third criteria, customer. So this is the third C. This is why we call it the four C's over here. Um, and give examples of internal practices your organization uses to build better customer relationships. When addressing this criterion, please describe how you empower your employees to proactively address issues experienced by customers, how you go above and beyond to maintain transparency with your customers, an instance where your commitment to honesty was a positive differentiator in a challenging customer interaction. I remember that one year I had a company that submitted on their entry that they were put in a position that they could actually make more money, but ignoring some of the ethical practices within the insurance uh, world, because this was an insurance company, and he submitted as a added bonus, like the answer that he gave that customer and how he just decided to pass up on the business because it wasn't aligned with his mission and vision and what he commits to in terms of ethics. So here her response is also great. I think why she was a winning entry, she really took the time to craft her answers, how she has established clear communication channels and protocols for reporting and escalating customer issues. And this being a spa, they do see a lot of customers. So it's very B2C type of business. She empowers the employees to take ownership of customer satisfaction by creating accountability and excellence. So she builds trust and credibility with the clients, which is essential for long term. She makes sure that she gets those reviews, that if there's an issue, how she solves that issue within her business, and all of those things are put in there. Again, if you have any supporting documents that show client interactions, that will be great. The entries do have an option where you can submit written testimonials from clients or from vendors or investors, and you can attach that to your entry as an additional thing to help you. And then the last criteria will be community. So what do you do? Display organizational programs, contribution activities that return value to and support your community. So this is what we call corporate social responsibility, CSR. So any sort of outward thing that you do, whether it's volunteering time, whether your company commits to giving a percentage of your proceeds to one specific charity, whether it's something that you do once a year, if it's just during December or Thanksgiving, you adopt a family, any efforts that you do, make sure that you put them in there. Or if throughout the year you support different initiatives and organizations, whether it's a women's initiative, whether it's education, all of that. And trust me, sometimes you don't know how much you do until you go back and start taking all of this and putting it together to have the accountability to be able to submit these entries. So please, this is great this is the part where you really want to put the supporting documents. If you're out of volunteering and you have pictures, please submit that. If you do any sort of charity, Toys for Tots, anything, please submit the pictures of that because it really does show. We can sit here and say that we support all these different things, but if we're not showing the judges, it's kind of hard to take your word for it. Even if you have the receipts of a contribution that you've made, I think that will be better than attaching nothing. So here, programs or events that your organization has in place to actively engage with the community, how employees are encouraged to and recognized for spending time in community service activities that your organization and employees value, the contribution of funds or in-kind services to community programs consistent with the organization's values. And again, it doesn't really have to be that you paid, but if you provide a service to a nonprofit, then that will work as well. If you are just a one-man operation, it doesn't just have to be how you encourage your employees because it could just be what you do yourself. And I know some companies do give an allotment of time if people volunteer, but other companies don't. So you don't have to address the employee part. Again, just address the things that really apply to your business the most. And the important thing is to show and not tell. right? So here she talks about the commitment to giving back. The day spot participates in Adopt a Road program where she volunteers to clean up designated stretch of road in the local area on a regular basis, and it helps beautify her community. She regularly donates gift certificates or spa packages to local charity functions, fundraisers, raffles, and supports causes such as healthcare, women's shelters, and sometimes she brings a woman into her spa and makes her day from women's shelters. So she has a little bit of different things going on here and why it's important to her. And again, the part to upload supporting documents, which they don't show here, that goes on like a separate bucket. And I didn't want to show any personal stuff, but she did attach quite a few pictures of her, of everything that she did. So for references, the references are optional, but definitely helpful. So she provided a customer reference, and we give the option, as I said, a customer, a vendor, and a community partner. So if there's a organization that you partner with in the community, you can submit their information there. If there's a vendor that you really work with for something, they can also provide a reference for you if it's someone that you hire on a constant basis for an event or something and you really like working with them and you have a good vendor customer relation, you can put their information. You can also get a written references and upload them at in any part of this, and I will organize that for you because I realize that sometimes people don't want to be called and they don't have the time. And if you just rather have a written letter, a PDF or something signed by them, I will take that as well, and any other reference that you want to include that you think will be pertinent to this. So then you have to sign the application in the end, and then that is it. Now, the other thing I'm gonna go visit for you, and I'll stop sharing my screen for a second so I can go onto the site, is that you can work on this entry um, for the duration of the time. So you can start working on it and then kind of stop and revisit. Just save the link of your entry and save it somewhere and put it on a sticky note on your laptop or wherever it may be. Save it onto the draft of your emails. If you lose your link, just feel free to message me at Cinthya, CINTHYAL at bbbsefl.org, and I can pull the entry for you and send you your link so that you can visit. So it saves automatically. Just make sure that as you're putting towards the end, you just submit if you're ready to submit, or if not, just feel free to revisit. And I can see the progress from the back end. I'm gonna go ahead and share the Torch Awards website, and we're gonna go through that. So here we're in this for this year's Torch Awards. If you're interested in sponsoring, you are not able to submit an application. So it has to be one or the other. I know some people sometimes want to sponsor the awards, but then they cannot apply to the torch because that's a conflict of interest. So please make sure you decide what it is you will want to do. Nominations are still open until the 13th. So feel free to nominate a colleague if you want as well. And then the application part it should be. So down here we have the winners. When you're a winner, we feature you for a whole year on this page. You also get a video feature, and you can use that video for promotion, and you can use the logo for the Torch Awards as a Torch Award winner. So, and these are also the finalists. So there's going to be finalists in each group, and from that group, we pick the winner, and you are not going to know that you won until the Torch Awards. So we announced the winners there, and the if you do become a finalist, we let you know maybe like 3 weeks before just to make sure that you're present. Please, please, please make sure that you have someone from your business there if you are a finalist to be able to, because finalists do get a trophy. So it is nice to have someone there for pictures and accepting the finalist trophy. So please make sure that you have a representative there from your company. Now, here is the application. So you could go to bbb.org/SEFL torch, and that's where it's going to open up this page. And here is where you can find out if you have nominated your business, you should have already received this application in an email. But if not, you can go here and you'll find it. And this is the application. The application should be submitted by April 11th at 11:59. So basically, you have a month to fill this out. And if you still need a little bit more time, please send me an email. I usually give an additional week extra just for people to submit this. If I see and I have quite a big number of people that are still finishing, I usually give a couple days extra. But this is basically what we went through, and then here is the actual live application, and you have to fill everything out. And as you go next, it'll start filling this out. I do advise you every time that you fill something to click save just to be safe. Um, but yeah, that is pretty much it when it comes to the Torch Awards application. It's pretty easy. Again, the four C's: character, culture, community, and customers. So make sure that you again submit all of the stuff. If the other advice that I have for you is don't just provide a couple of sentences and submit the application. Make sure that you take the time to read and elaborate and just use the resources available to you. If you have any questions, feel free to ask me. I just, I don't have any, like I said at the beginning of this presentation, I don't have any influence towards who wins, but I can at least tell you, hey, yes, that will be a good thing to submit, or maybe add a little bit more or whatnot. So please make sure that you do build a robust application and write everything and put everything that you can. Don't think that is too much. I think the judges like to see businesses that show what they're doing.